Hello everybody and welcome again to World's Strongest Man 2011, coming to you from the beautiful state of North Carolina in the US. Now, we've seen some incredible feats of strength here over the first three heats. We've seen two Englishmen booking their place in the final, Terry Hollands and Lawrence Charley. Well, in Heat 4, there's a chance for one of their countrymen to join them there. It's Portsmouth's Rob Frampton. The only thing is, he's going to be facing one of the toughest guys in the business.
Big Z, Zydrunas Savickas, the favourite to dominate Group 4 of qualifying. No one casts a bigger shadow than the reigning champion. England's Rob Frampton made his debut in this competition in South Africa last year, and he's joined by four other mountains of muscle looking to challenge the Lithuanian legend.
Big Z, considered by many of his peers to be the strongest man who ever lived. I'm not sure about that, but I won't be arguing with them. Anyway, the Lithuanian begins the defence of his title in Heat 4 with the loading race.
And you join us in the peaceful surroundings of Wingate College, which has been our home for the last three rounds, for an event which should raise the noise levels. Here we go with the loading race. The scene is set, the crowd is ready. There are the rules. 75-second time limit to load all four sacks, which weigh almost 20 stone. That's 125 kilograms. Thigpen. And here is Josh Thigpen, an amazing natural athlete. He can do almost anything. Alexander Khrushchev of Russia, 320 pounds his body weight. That's well over 20 stone.
From Canada, Louis-Philippe Jean.
The former winner of Canada's Strongest Man, Louis-Philippe Jean. This event should get us off to a cracking start. Here we go. The Canadian goes straight into the lead. That's Josh Thigpen on the far side. In third place, though, the American. And it's the Canadian at the moment, Colin, who's not exactly racing away with it, but he's got a good lead here.
Well, Josh Thigpen took a very long time to pick up that first sack. He's starting to get into his groove now. But is it too little, too late? One thing's for sure, Thigpen has the best fitness here, and that may well count on the fourth and final sack.
But what about Louis-Philippe Jean? No mistakes at the moment. But how much oxygen has he got left in his body? He really has slowed down now, and Thigpen is coming on strong on the far side. Can Louis-Philippe Jean finish this off and get maximum points? Look at Thigpen coming from behind. He's done it. An amazing performance in the end by the American. Alexander Khrushchev there really struggling. Louis-Philippe Jean, arms aloft, but this is the guy that will take the plaudits for the time being.
But I'm not sure Khrushchev's going to finish this now. The whistle's coming soon, and for the Russian, totally exhausted. He comes from powerlifting where it's one rep max. He just doesn't have the fitness, but Thigpen, 54.13. That's a stunning time for this difficult task.
There's Louis-Philippe Jean, disappointed to have faded in the latter stages of that race. Alexander Khrushchev really bombed out in many ways. Only 3 sacks loaded, and his time 55.19.
Well, look at Thigpen. He finished like a train. Great fitness, doesn't carry much body fat, really good shape for this kind of event.
In lane number 1, from England, Rob Frampton.
Rob Frampton looking a little bit edgy at the start of this first event. Comes from Portsmouth.
Lane number 2, from USA, Mike Jenkins.
A newcomer to World's Strongest Man, Mike Jenkins from Pennsylvania.
Lane number 3, from Lithuania, Zydrunas Savickas.
Potentially the best. Twice the champion in the past, Zydrunas Savickas of Lithuania.
Paul, we put our men through a series of tests before we began, and Savickas, unsurprisingly, was awesome at most things. Only his endurance was a little low. Take position!
Away we go with this first event. In many ways, Colin, this event is all about endurance. Obviously, a lot of strength required. But at the moment, it's Mike Jenkins of the USA. In his baptism of World's Strongest Man, he's running away with it.
Well, Jenkins has proved himself in a couple of big contests outside of the world's strongest man. He's not exactly new to the strongman scene. This is his first go here, and he's doing very well. He's a massive man as well, but clearly has good endurance.
Deakins is coming on a bit stronger. He's ahead of Rob Frampton now. This guy's got 54.13 to beat. Surely he's going to do it. And that is victory for the United States. Deakins finished strongly there. And poor old Rob Frampton is lagging way behind.
Well, I'm not sure if it's cramp, Paul, but something's wrong with his hamstring. He has had bad sciatica. Well, Jenkins, though, that was just an incredible time.
Massive win there for Mike Jenkins. And Zydrunas Deakins, well, a slow start, but he finished strongly, didn't he? 44.57 for the champion. And Rob Frampton already getting attention, and that is a little bit worrying for the Englishman.
Well, look at Deakins. The first couple, he fluffed it off the floor, but then he got into his groove. Jenkins made no mistakes at all.
Mike, that was fantastic. You must have been quite nervous as this is your first World's Strongest Man competition.
Oh, you're always nervous, but it's a good thing. I was actually more anxious than anything. Just get the first event under your belt and, you know, get on with the contest.
Well, it was a great performance, just under 41 seconds, which, you know, we've seen some people struggle, so that is a pretty good time. Talk us through your race.
You know, it's real simple. You know, just load them all as fast as you can and make sure they're sitting up on the platform so you don't have to waste time at the end to get them where they're supposed to be so they don't fall off.
Well, you sound like an old-timer with comments like that. Lots of confidence. Good luck for the rest of the competition.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Brawn and brains from Mike Jenkins earn him a valuable event win in the loading race. The American almost 4 seconds faster than Deakins. Rob Frampton looks to be in trouble already, though. And the challenge after the break for the Englishman and the rest of the field is a mighty one, featuring 8 lead-filled barrels, a 4-metre bar, and total disregard for the laws of gravity. It's the Keg Toss, up next. Welcome back to World's Strongest Man. For the 34th time, the mightiest men from around the globe have gathered to do battle. But for the first time, a college campus is the host. The Wingate University community has rolled out the red carpet for this, the ultimate event in strength athletics.
So here we go with the Keg Toss. A nice arena covered in sand. That's where we had the loading race earlier, and there is the rule situation. 75 seconds the time limit. 8 kegs in total have got to be thrown over a bar 4 meters high as quickly as possible. The heaviest of those kegs, 25 kilos. And they're evidence, I think, Colin, of Rob Frampton's sciatica problem. He only managed 2 kegs, so he really is out of it.
From the USA.
Well, the first man we see is the winner of the first event, Mike Jenkins of the USA.
Paul, let's have a quick look at his stats. Really good across the board, incredible grip and flexibility, and with that force, he should be a good thrower.
Well, just a reminder, it's Alexander Khrushchev, the Russian, who's in the lead at the moment. 7 kegs he managed to get over the bar. And this guy going superbly at the moment, Colin.
He's got into a good rhythm here, just taking his time, checking each one goes over. Well, he just missed that one by a fraction. I wonder whether he was taking it a little bit easy. Yeah, he had plenty in the tank there. This is good so far. This to get 7 and equal the best.
Well, every one of those kegs that misses, of course, that adds time. Here we go. No, it looks as though the big American has run out of steam.
And one thing I really like about Jenkins, he's a mature head on a young body. He knew instantly he was finished there. He didn't waste time doing another 10 attempts. Very solid from Jenkins, although he doesn't do all of them. Let's look at this last one. Interesting, he turned his grip there. He didn't grab on top. He used the side grip.
Please welcome, from Lithuania, Zydrunas Deakins.
One of the greatest champions of all time in World's Strongest Man. Well, there we have the title leaders, those people who've won World's Strongest Man more than once. Mariusz Pudzianowski, the all-time leader, at 5. Ready? But this guy is being talked about in the same conversation as the likes of Pudzianowski. Look at this. One after the other, no problem.
Wow, he's like a cannon going off here. These are going so high. I just hope he's not wasting energy launching these so... no problem at all.
That was phenomenal. Anybody who thought he'd come here anything less than 100% fit had better think again. 19.42 seconds. That's outrageous.
Wow, that's just crazy, isn't it? Goodness me, let's have a look at that again. The first one, how much is that over? It's got to be 8 or 10 foot over. And the last one, he still looked fresh.
Please welcome from the USA, Josh Thigpen.
Big Josh being greeted by the crowd. They like this guy.
Well, his stats show he's a tremendous athlete. Awesome grip, and look at the force, almost off the scale.
Well, Josh has got the heart monitor wrapped around his chest, so we should get some feedback from that. This is a new innovation in World's Strongest Man, but it will give you a very good idea as to how quickly the heart rate rises to its maximum limit. Already up at 186, and Thigpen is flying.
Wow, he's super excited starting this. The adrenaline's flowing. Up at maximal heart rate. Oh, you do not want to make a mistake at max heart rate because he's fatiguing quickly now.
Oh, fantastic by Thigpen at the second attempt. Had he got it over at the first attempt, he could even have challenged Zaviskas. But 27.7 guarantees the American second place.
He was very close to Zaviskas there. Very quick on the first few. And the last one, he threw it at just after 17 seconds.
Zadrunas, those kegs were flying sky high. It was 19.42 seconds. Do you think we need a higher bar for you next time?
Yes. I training with bigger weights in training, so it's easy for me.
Well, it looked pretty easy. And were you a little bit hurt after getting second place in the first event to the new guy and wanted to prove yourself in that one?
But his new guy very strong, and first event was not so good for me because big body weight and to run in sand, it's very hard. But now events getting better for me, and it will be very good.
A higher bar and heavier kegs next year then for Zaviskas. He's the only man to break the 20-second barrier, but Josh Thigpen coming mightily close to upsetting the Lithuanian. Things looking bleak for Rob Frampton there, injured and already adrift in Group 4. Up at the top, there's been a changing of the guard. Zaviskas is in control, and we'll be looking forward to the next event. Let's head over to Caroline Pierce.
Thank you, James. And there's every chance that Zaviskas' domination could continue here in the squat lift. Everyone here in North Carolina is delighted that the Lithuanian has returned to defend his title. Because remember, some thought he might retire after that reputation-affirming victory last year. But if 2010 proved that the Big Z is a genuine contender for the title of the strongest man ever, it also reveals something else. That there's a new kid on the block, and he's out to get you, Zadrunas.
Brian Shaw now is my main competition to win this contest. Brian is strong, but I am still stronger. I never go to competition if I do not think about victory. For me, only one goal. I training very serious for this year, World's Strongest Man, and I come back from injury ready for this competition 100%. My favorite strongman is Bill Kazmaier, and my dream to win also 3 times in a row. It's very hard to win World's Strongest Man. It's very hard to win 2 times in a row, and it's more hard to win 3 times in a row, but I am ready for it.
Big Z continues his assault on that third title in Charlotte, North Carolina, one of America's leading banking regions and also the heart of stock car country. Charlotte, indeed, is home to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and that's where we head for our next event.
So here we go now with the squat lift right in front of the NASCAR Museum. Time limit 75 seconds. The apparatus, which is that giant barbell, 325 kilos. So 3 athletes have already completed their turn. Rob Frampton of England, his problems continue with that sciatica. He only managed 1 repetition. Then Josh Thigpen, 2 repetitions. He's currently in 2nd place. I just wonder how much those squats took out of the American. Alexander Khrushchev, a former European powerlifting champion, surprised everybody with only 4 repetitions, even surprised himself.
From the USA.
So it's now on to Mike Jenkins. In 3rd place overall after 2 events. He really has come to life here. He's enjoying this day in front of his home crowd. So 4 is the total to beat.
Paul, this guy's got some of the biggest legs I've ever seen. He looks really well built for this kind of event. Very slow on the way down. Very deliberate movement, but he's up without a problem.
Well, the endurance factor is going to play a part here. But Jenkins is looking pretty solid. That's a deep squat. Thighs have got to be parallel to the ground, and the judges are very close by. So taking a very keen interest in Mike Jenkins, who equals the lead.
Going for number 5. Again, it's a deliberate movement.
Now, how much does he want this? He's in the lead, but he knows there's some very strong guys to come. That is number 6. And a number of times these guys would have done squats in the gym in training for World's Strongest Man. He's absolutely phenomenal, but he's satisfied. 6 repetitions. That is a tough act to follow. Very good performance indeed from Mike Jenkins.
I think he got his tactics just right there. He's watched Khrushchev, he's watched Frampton, he's watched others go, and the bar was rolling down their back. He was very slow and deliberate, and he squeezed out every rep he could.
Please welcome from Canada, Louis-Philippe Jean.
LPJ, now competing in his 4th World's Strongest Man competition, and following in a long line of excellent Canadian strongmen.
Looking at LPJ's stats, he's pretty good at everything, Paul. And I know for sure he's a great squatter. Great force, big leg power.
6 repetitions to beat. That's the lead at the moment. That is very deliberate. Going to make sure that both sides touch that small platform. Bit of a bounce there as well, my goodness.
Well, it's a bit of a gamble, but if it works, it works. This is strong, man. It's up to him to take that risk, and it's paying off. That's how you go.
Well, it's not often you see weights this size anywhere. But at the moment, Louis-Philippe Jean, who just staggered there.
Well, that's what happens. If you hit too hard off the bottom, it can send you off in the wrong direction.
Well, he's got 4 repetitions, plenty of time left. That is number 5. 5, yeah. You heard right. It's 1 more to equal the Americans' lead. And he gets it. This is good. Oh, he just wobbled a bit there, Colin.
His core is starting to get tired now. The centre of his body wobbling a little bit. This will be a real battle.
Equal 1st place for Louis-Philippe Jean. Almost job done for LPJ. The attendants there just taking his knee wraps off. They protect the knee. They don't help the guy lift a weight. But this was good squatting, as you said right at the beginning.
Oh, and extremely deep squats as well. It's tough here at the World's Strongest Man. Huge weight, very deep.
From Lithuania, Zevikas.
Big Z. He's got a good target to beat here. But in terms of the stats that we saw earlier and his reputation and what we've seen him do in the past, I don't think there's any reason at all why he shouldn't shoot past that target and go very high indeed in terms of the numbers.
Paul, 15 years ago, he was winning European medals at squat in powerlifting. Such is the career of Zevikas. Look at this, slow and deliberate. He's gone for the same tactics as Jenkins.
That's a very, very subtle touch, though, on those mini platforms there. And this is such good control from the defending champion.
Very smooth. Doesn't look fatigued. He's not wobbling like LPJ was.
He just needs 1 more.
Well, there's proof of the stress, Paul. Look at that, some blood coming out of his nose. Even Zevikas is human.
There we go, 7 reps, made it look easy. Our winner absolutely spot on there with that performance. A little bit of blood, but nothing to worry, the great Lithuanian.
7 reps for Zevikas, but he looked like he had plenty left in the tank. Mike Jenkins continues his impressive debut. He and Louis-Philippe Jean seem to be starting something of a personal battle. Clear daylight then between the defending champion and the rest of Group 4 with an almighty tussle for that second qualifying spot. It's not looking good, though, for the chances of our English representative.
Well, Big Z making short work of Heat 4 so far. Then Rob Frampton in 1 or 2 problems, and the bad news is that after the break, things could get even worse as we head over to Rockingham Speedway, where Rob and the other athletes are going to be pulling a truck. And as you've probably noticed, they build them quite big over here.
That it's been a demanding year. You've worked hard and pushed yourself to your limits, so we thought it's only right that we should reward you with a little break. You could win a family trip to Florida with 7 nights in a 4-star hotel, access to a car to explore Florida's attractions, passes to Disney and SeaWorld, and £1,000 to splash. To win this fantastic holiday, just answer the following. Which famous character eats spinach for extra strength? Is it A, Homer Simpson, B, Popeye, C, Mickey Mouse? To enter, call 0904 1613 555, text Florida plus A, B or C to 80556, or post your answer, name and phone number to Florida, P.O. Box 7557, Derby, DE1 0NP. Calls cost $1.53 from a BT landline. Other networks vary. Mobiles cost considerably more. Text costs $1.50 plus standard network rate. Lines close midday 2nd of January 2012 and 3 days later for postal entries. Rules and winners, channel5.com/win.
Welcome back. Part 3 of World's Strongest Man 2011, and it's been an incredible show up to now. We've seen debutant Mike Jenkins storm to victory in the loading race. Watch defending champion Zydrunas Savickas notch a clean sweep in the Keg Toss. And then display his awesome leg strength to take maximum points once again in the squat lift. Next up, it's the truck pull from Rockingham Speedway. Over to our commentators Colin Bryce and first Paul Dickinson.
One of the world's strongest man favourites, the truck pull. Time limit 75 seconds to pull 12,000 kilos over a course of 20 metres. Well, this is what has happened so far. Josh Thigpen has found life very difficult indeed. Couldn't complete the course, only went 17.3 metres. Louis-Philippe Jean, he went a little bit further, but he too found it very difficult despite wearing climbing boots for extra grip. So this is the situation with 3 men having completed their pulls. Still being led by Louis-Philippe Jean at 17.9 metres, but Alexander Khrushchev there, totally out of it, just over 3 metres.
Frampton.
Chance to see Rob Frampton try and pull this 12 metric ton truck. And to make matters worse, when they get towards the end, the course is actually uphill, as if life wasn't difficult enough. And an interesting view there of his heart rate as well. And we can fully expect these guys to reach maximum heart rate. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about that, Colin.
Well, his maximal heart rate will be 220 minus age, so Rob into his mid-30s. He should be getting up to 185 beats a minute, somewhere around the 45-second mark, maybe the minute mark, depending on exactly how fit he is. Well, he's digging in here, Frampton. Nice technique. Got to try and keep as low as possible. He'll use his... Got the sciatica, of course. Let's not forget that down his right leg. His right leg may be struggling.
Well, it's slow and steady at the moment for the Englishman. And the pulse rate is beginning to rise quite rapidly now. For a long time, he was around 165. But look at this, over 190 now, and still climbing.
But it's actually going against the textbooks here. It's meant to be maximal heart rate, 220 minus age. Frampton's like a 20-year-old man. He's doing well. He's obviously a fit guy, but he comes to a grinding halt well short of what Thigpen did.
Yes, it is. Disappointment once again for Rob Frampton, still suffering from that back problem. Only 14.89 metres.
let the round fall for Rob Frampton.
This is a disappointing contest so far for Rob Frampton. He's come all this way to just come up against a terrible back injury, and you can tell he's not getting all his power into this. He's favouring his left side.
Please welcome from Lithuania, Žydrūnas Savikas.
Well, nobody has managed to pull this giant fire truck the full distance so far. Can the defending champion? I'm sure the crowd would like to see it, and away goes Savikas.
Well, he wastes no time. Look at this, quite a low starting heart rate there, Paul. He's obviously not as nervous as some of the others. We've seen starting heart rates as high as 180 for the really adrenaline-up guys. He's a cool customer, Savikas. Now he's very low, much lower than Frampton was, and heavier. That'll count.
I think it's important to point out, Colin, that these guys just don't walk from their preparation area, get strapped in and start pulling. They do a warm-up. So they do arrive at the start line with quite a high pulse rate to start with. Savikas, though, only 170, and surely he's going to finish this one.
He's got 175+ kilos of body weight to help drag it forward, but he's only just going to make it if he does. It comes up a hill just at the end there, Paul. It's quite steep.
He's only got inches to go. He's just about got to lean on that rope, and surely it will go over the line. There he is, just over the 1 minute mark to finish the course. And he is the leader. And how many times have we said that in previous strongest man competitions?
Well, he really dug in at the end. He had to. As I said, it starts to come uphill from about the 15th meter onwards. It really is quite a steep incline.
From the USA, Mike Jenkins.
The last competitor to go. He's in a qualifying position for the final at the moment. And that would be a remarkable story if he can qualify for World's Strongest Man final after his very first ever qualifying competition.
Well, Paul, there's a few big contests around the world. One of them is the Arnold Classic put on by Mr. Schwarzenegger. His first year there, he came second. So he's not put off by going to a contest for the first time. He's well prepared, very clever man. Former PE teacher, funnily enough.
So here we go. Jenkins trying to compete with the defending champion. The time to beat, 66 seconds. And Jenkins at the moment is making terrific progress down the course and technically staying as low as he possibly can to drive those powerful legs backwards with each step. He's going well still.
He's digging in now through this hard uphill section, slowly grinding to a halt. Can he make it?
Watch the clock. Inches to go. Yes, just over the 1 minute mark. And he's beaten one of the greatest competitors in history. There's Savikas. He knows he's been beaten well on this occasion. And Mike Jenkins has done his prospect of qualifying for the final. The power of good.
And he's still full of wind, isn't he? Screaming and shouting it's not heavy. And you know what? His heart rate only at 185. That is way below his maximal heart rate. So he won't be as tired going into the next event.
You've taken a well-earned rest there. You seem to be king of the fire truck.
I don't know if I'm king of the fire truck, but, you know, I'll take a first place when I can get it.
You beat the world's strongest man, Žydrūnas, and it's your first year at the world's strongest man. I mean, how does that feel?
You know, it feels good to get a couple of wins for the events, but, you know, the contest is far, far from over. But I'll take any points I can get. And
you're a great character. You're getting the crowd involved. You absolutely seem to love what you do. I mean, how much is that part of the experience for you?
You know, I mean, they're out here, cold, rainy day. You know, they love coming to watch us, and, you know, we love the support because, you know, it's hard to come by.
Looking at that final now as a realistic option?
I mean, I think everybody is, and if you're not, then, you know, you really shouldn't be here. So it's definitely in the front of my mind right now.
A true competitor. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Another event victory then for the increasingly impressive Mike Jenkins, the debutant once again getting ahead of the reigning champion. And Rob Frampton should also take a lot of credit. The Englishman may prop up Group 4 still, but he had to overcome serious sciatic pain in the truck pull. Up top in Group 4, Jenkins has closed the gap on Savikas, but the Lithuanian still looks in total control. Back to Caroline.
Thanks, James. Yes, all eyes may be on the incredible performance being put up by the defending champion, but there's another very intense battle going on to see who will join Savickas in the final. Now, we saw these metal blocks back in Heat 3, where we thought Terry Hollands would do well. He didn't, of course, but there's another Englishman in this group who's looking to redress the balance.
I'm not a 9 to 5 type of guy. I'm lucky enough that my girlfriend has a proper job to look after me, so I can more or less play in a way and obviously train when I want and do more or less what I like in my own gym sort of thing. With the correct knowledge and the correct know-how, strongman training can be adapted to anyone. It's so three-dimensional, you know, it's not like powerlifting. Powerlifting is a superb sport. It's very two-dimensional, very static. Strongman is so three-dimensional. You've got to be everything, you've got to tick every box. My sciatica comes in waves. I could be months and months and months of nothing. Then I could wake up and it could be there. It's like a horrible, almost like a toothache pain in my glute and my ham. And if it gets worse, it goes right down to my foot. I've had it since '06. I got shot in the arse. I was still working the doors. Did the doors for about 16 years. One January evening, some weirdo opened my door in my car and blew a sawn-off shotgun into my top of my glute. I lost about a grapefruit size of fat and muscle, and 2 operations and a skin graft later, I'm back training. Weights on a bar doesn't test us. No, we can do that, that's easy. We want something that's hard. I don't know why, but the minute I get a 70-kilo dumbbell, I want a 90. The minute I get a 120-kilo block, I want a 140. Crazy. I've had a tyre that was outside for 6 months. I couldn't flip it. It was a 580-kilo tyre. I had it for 6 months before I could flip it, but I still wanted it. Madness. I'd love to get to the final. I'd love a British title. Before I retire, British title, get to the finals. That would be good. That would do me.
Well, it doesn't look as though Rob Frampton will be getting his wish in North Carolina. But to see how the Englishman gets on with the next event, let's head back now to Wingate University. Next up is one of the most uncomfortable challenges of all, the block press.
Well, the apparatus is all ready for the metal block press, and this is an event which is proving very difficult for all of our strongmen in the past. 90 seconds the time limit.
England, Rob Frampton.
4 blocks, the heaviest is 150 kilos, 330 pounds. That's around 23.5 stone.
Ready, lift.
Now, how much of a problem is the fact that Rob Frampton's back has been playing up going to be? Now, that was very good balance from Rob Frampton.
One of the things you have to do in this event is lean backwards, though, Paul, and that's going to put a lot of stress on his lower back as we go along.
Well, just a bit of a problem there, getting it in the right position to start with. There's nothing really to grip onto. You have to lean back as far as you can. He's got incredibly strong arms, but it's not the arms that are the problem, it's just the balance. He's got it. The clock is ticking away, over 40 seconds now.
Well, he's giving a crack at the world record here, Paul. No one's ever done this. Big moment for Frampton. Even with this contest going badly so far, this would make up for it right here.
330 pounds. Well, he gave it a shot, but because of what has happened before, even 3 lifts is still low down on the scoring table. There's his record, 3 in 39.51, but take a look at this. Previous to Rob going out, we had the Russian lifting 3 blocks in 38.27, thumbs up for the Russian. Then we had Josh Thigpen, he got 3 blocks as well. It was even faster, 33.43 seconds. And Louis-Philippe Jean, he got 3 blocks up in the super fast time of 25.46. So he is our current leader.
Welcome from the USA, Mike Jenkins.
Well, Mike Jenkins in 2nd place overall. And he's got a 5-point cushion to the equal 3rd place athletes of Thigpen and Jean. He's in good shape. If he can get this event underway successfully, he's in good shape to go through to the final.
A massive presser. If he can get it into the position, he'll have no trouble even pressing the last one. It's just so awkward to balance, though.
Tell you what, the pressing part of it looks so easy, Colin.
It is for him. Now the last one. The daddy. Look at this, 330 pounds, 150 kilograms.
Well, as we said in the past, it's not necessarily the weight that is the problem, it's the balance. Here we go. Oh, I don't think he's going to get it up again, but Mike Jenkins was superb till that point. 27.77 seconds, and that is currently in second place, but Zaviskas has yet to go.
Well, Jenkins did his best. He made 3, no mistakes, and then gave a good attempt at the last one, but just so tired after 3 previous, had nothing left in the tank.
Welcome from Lithuania, Zadrunas Savikas.
If anybody is going to lift that last block, it could well be this man.
Ready, lift!
He's got a 3-point lead on Mike Jenkins at the moment. Watch how easy this one is. Oh, down. I nearly spoke too soon there. Once again, it was the balance that was the problem, not the weight.
Down. Fires it up onto the third one, 130 kilos. Yeah, the pressing is nothing for him. He has every world record overhead. He doesn't have this one, though. Right here, right now, can Big Z hit 150 kilos? Many have tried this, Paul. No one's ever done it.
There aren't any handles. The metal blocks are very smooth. There's nothing really to grip onto. I know we've said this in the past, but you can't imagine how strong you have to be to shift this weight. Oh, my goodness. Well, a world record in any sport is worth cheering. And that one was very special indeed.
And he did it with just 3 seconds to go as well, running out of time. But he had plenty of power to do it, no problem.
Zadrunas, congratulations. That's a historic moment in the World's Strongest Man. How does that feel?
Thank you very much. I was very happy. I had a world record from 2006 with 140 kilograms, and now I lift 150 kilograms in medley. It's much heavier, and I'm very happy because it's one of my world records. And
just another world record for you.
I collect them, and I'm very happy.
I'm sure you are. Now, you've qualified for the final already with an event in hand. Do you think it'd be another battle between yourself and Brian Shaw, or could somebody else get in the mix?
I think this final will be one of the greatest finals because all athletes so strong, so good events for everybody, and it's hard to say. I think 5-6 people will fight for top 3.
Possibly, but who would bet against Savikas winning that 3rd consecutive crown? What a performance it's been from the Lithuanian. The first man to lift all 4 blocks at World's Strongest Man. And was there ever any doubt that he would qualify for the final? Behind him, though, it is wide open with 3 men battling for the one remaining qualifying place.
Well, in the meantime, here I am at an ostrich ranch, of course, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, admiring these magnificent birds. Did you know they eat granite for breakfast? Helps them digest their food. In a couple of minutes on World's Strongest Man, we're going to have the decisive round of Heat 4, in which our strongmen will be lifting giant balls of this stuff in the Antlia Stones. Who do you think is going to go through? Anyone care to stick your neck out?
Don't forget our fantastic competition to win a family trip to Florida with £1,000 to splash. For your chance to win, just tell us which famous character eats spinach for extra strength. Is it A, Homer Simpson, B, Popeye, C, Mickey Mouse? To enter, call 0904 1613 555. Text Florida plus A, B or C to 80556 or post your answer name and phone number to Florida, PO Box 7557, Derby, DE10NP. Full terms and conditions at channel5.com/win.
Welcome back to Wingate University in North Carolina for the conclusion of Heat 4 of World's Strongest Man. The defending champion and two-time winner Zydrunas Savickas has already qualified for the final. Let's head over to the Antlia Stones now to see who will join him.
The crowd are gathered for the final event, the Antlia Stones, the old favourite of World's Strongest Man. 75 seconds to lift 5 stones onto the platform, and the heaviest is a massive 180 kilos. Well, this is what has happened so far. Khrushchev, who's been struggling all along, only managed 3 stones in just over 30 seconds. Rob Frampton, he was a little bit quicker, but still only managed 3 stones. Josh Thigpen, 5 stones in a very smart 30.70. And the champion already through to the final, Savickas, 5 stones, 26.85. That was the lead.
Please welcome from Group 4, our next 2 contestants.
One of these men could make it through to the final.
From Canada, Louis-Philippe Jean.
The Canadian Jean must beat Mike Jenkins by at least 4 places to guarantee his spot.
Mike Jenkins.
Mike Jenkins, well, before this week, had never contested World's Strongest Man ever, and he's on the verge of making it through to the final. There is the current situation in terms of points. Jenkins in the box seat for the time being. And this is what's happened so far. Savickas, well, there's no doubt about the fact he is the daddy, almost untouchable. Mike Jenkins in his debut, though, has been having a terrific battle, particularly with this man, who did superbly in the squat. It was defiant, but Mike Jenkins has competed very well, too. He dominated in the truck pull. And then Jean kept himself in the hunt with a great block press performance. So it's all come down to the Antlia Stones. What a climax this is going to be. Keep an eye on the man on the left, who's got to stay ahead of that man, Mike Jenkins.
I think Jenkins is being a bit tentative at the moment. He's got to go for this. He can't make any mistakes, but still, he doesn't want Jean winning the group here in the Stones.
Well, it's nip and tuck all the way. Jenkins, at the moment, is doing enough. This is 180 kilos. Nearly 400 pounds, and can you believe it? Mike Jenkins, I think, has just nipped in and won that ahead of Jean. Not as fast as Savickas, but 5 stones in 29.39. A phenomenal performance and worthy of a place in the final.
Québec, until the end, I'll be the man. Jusqu'à la fin, faut jamais lâcher.
He'll be back. He doesn't qualify for the final, but boy, is he some strong man.
Well, Mike Jenkins started a bit slow, but he was so quick on that last one. 180 kilos, it was nothing for him.
Mike, once again, you put on a great show. How aware were you of Louis sort of keeping pace with you there?
You know, you can hear him loading stones, so each one. I think he had me on the first 2 or 3, but I just kept going the same speed I started.
You've done so great in every event. Sum up your experience of your very first World's Strongest Man.
You know, it's everything I hoped it'd be so far, but we have 6 more events in the final. It's a whole new contest. Hopefully I can come out, you know, on top.
And what has surprised you the most about either your own performance or that of the others in your group?
You know, honestly, nothing about myself. I always, you know, hold myself to a higher standard. So I expected to be here, but, you know, going in, I knew anything could happen.
Well, best of luck for that final.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Savickas the winner of the Antlia Stones then, but it was the battle between Jenkins and Jean that counted, and just 0.09 of a second separating the 2 men, with Thigpen the only other man to lift all 5 stones. Confirmation there that Mike Jenkins accompanied Savickas into the final. Rob Frampton's competition ultimately a disappointment. Hopefully he'll be back and healthy next year.
Thank you, ladies. Look at that. Some terrific protein there for our athletes. I'm the one in the middle, by the way. Now, in our next show, we're going to be finding out the identity of our last two finalists on World's Strongest Man 2011. And there's a real mix of youth and experience in the final heat. On the one hand, you've got Derek Poundstone, world's toughest cop. On the other, Jack McIntosh, the up-and-coming Englishman, just 23 years of age. Is he going to ruffle a few feathers in this final heat? Well, you can find out in our next show, so make sure you tune in for that. For now, from all of us here, it's goodbye.
The toughest truckers hit your Channel 5 screens and go head-to-head in the new series starting next Friday night at 8 on Channel 5. And a festive treat next tonight as we count down 2011's most shocking celebrity moments.